Hello and welcome to another CBits Tech video. This is my favourite stereo. I play a lot of cassettes in the office and this is my favourite for many reasons, but it has one feature that makes it better than anything else that I have got already, and that's this. If I press the cassette button, it switches itself on and starts playing the tape from exactly where I left off. When I finish for the day, I press the power button and it stops the tape and switches off again. Then when I want to come in the next day, the first thing I want to do is put music on. All I do is press the cassette button. That's it, the music's going to start playing. It's worked flawlessly since the day I bought it, and I bought it because it has this slide out cassette mechanism on it. And I watched a few, when I wanted to listen to some cassettes that I had from back in the day, I didn't have anything to play them on. So I did some YouTube watching. This is before I had my YouTube channel. And I saw a slide out mechanism, probably on a Techmoan video. And I thought, I've got to get one with a slide out cassette tray. And when I bought it, it came with this, which was the Minidisc player. And I didn't know anything about Minidisc. So this really got me into everything. And if you look up there now, there's a link to the video that I explained how this really started my whole interest in cassettes and mini discs and doing some YouTube stuff. But the problem I've got is this deck plays fast. If I play a pre-recorded, like a shop bought album cassette, this plays fast. And I'm a little bit sensitive to the speed, especially on tracks where I know them very well. I do a lot of playing on streaming in the car and out for my walks. And I can tell that it plays too fast. I've recorded a lot of my cassettes and my mixtapes on this. It's also got an optical in for the Minidisc recorder, but you can record via optical into the cassette as well, so you get quite a good quality from it. But it's auto bias, so I don't use this for recording anymore. And I picked up quite a few cassettes in some recent cassette hauls. And I'm picking up another batch of shop bought albums on Monday. Today's Saturday. And I'm going to want to play through them all again. And this is my preferred player. I do have a Quartz locked deck, which I can use, but it doesn't have auto reverse. It does have music search, but it doesn't have auto reverse. And for a long time, I thought I'm going to get this one calibrated. Then I'm going to get my recording deck calibrated for speed. Because that has auto bias adjustment on it, and I'm not very good at doing manual bias adjustment. So, and then I'm going to have to re-record all of my cassettes so I can play them in this, which will be the right speed. So I'll record them on the other deck, which is really good at recording, play them on this, which is really quite a handy deck to be playing on, because it does have an auto reverse function. It's got music search on it, forwards and backwards, multi-track music search. So if I'm on this track and I want to go 2 tracks forward, I can do that, and it's going to search forward 2 tracks now and stop at the right track. And it's just really convenient player, but it plays too fast. Now that's okay if everything is calibrated to the speed of this deck. But now I've got a Quartz locked deck, which I use sometimes. I'm going to want to make sure that everything is calibrated to the right speed. So I've never had this apart. Oh, and the other thing as well is I can't get to the heads. I can't get to the heads to clean them. So what I use is this. This little cassette deck head cleaner. And you can put it in your cassettes that you can't get to the heads. And it sweeps across the playhead like that and cleans the pinch rollers. As you can see, it's quite heavily used. But sometimes if there's any pressure on that pad there, it doesn't clean properly. So I don't know whether it's actually cleaning the heads on here, and I can't get to them through the front. So what I want to do today, this is a long preamble, is I want to get this open. I want to do a speed calibration, so I know it's running at the right speed, the proper speed for cassettes. I also want to clean the heads and check the pinch rollers. I think they're fine because it sounds okay. And I want to test this with the case off so I can see whether, if I'm using this as my head cleaner, I want to make sure that that still actually sweeps across the heads and cleans the pinch rollers as well. So With that said, I'm going to get ready and start work. As always, it's going to be tricky recording this because I don't want to unplug it all. What I'm going to do is unplug the mains. Do not do any work on mains powered cassette decks if you don't have an understanding of how electricity works and how you're likely to kill yourself if you press the wrong, put your hand on the wrong function, on the wrong component rather. Likewise, some devices still retain a voltage even if the power is turned off, especially old style TVs. So if you don't know about these things, then get it done professionally. Right, so I've never taken this apart before. Oh, well, that removes that bit. That didn't help very much, did it? I've had a look on the bottom of it. Let me get a different camera shot. Yeah, so I looked at the bottom of it and I was hoping that one of these holes here would lead to the speed calibration screw, but it doesn't. So I don't know how to take this apart. I guess I'm going to have to take the bottom off, which is those screws there. I don't know what the point of this top part was. There are some clips here. Oh, look, here's some clips. Right, let's just readjust. God, it's very rare. It's a Saturday today. It's very rare for me to have... Oh, look at that. Very rare for me to have a free day. Ah, okay, let me have a look and see what I can see here. Okay, this is pretty cool. So I found some pots and potentiometers. I'll try and get in there with the phone. There's a couple down there. And there's a couple down here. Let's see those. There you go, there's a couple down there, but they're all in pairs. There's two down there, and sorry about the focus. The only one I can find which is a single one is this one here, and the speed calibration I would imagine is a single one. One of these is, two of these are for record levels, and two of them I think might be for Dolby, because it's got Dolby on this one, but I think that might be it there, but I think I need to do some research online because I don't want to be twiddling the wrong pot. But we can see the cassette mech here. So let me do a bit of research, get myself set up for some better camera angles, and then we'll crack on it, getting it sorted out. Yeah, I found it in the manual. It's right down in there and I can't get to it. I don't even know whether I'm pointing in the right direction. I can't get to it without taking this cover off. So this is metal. That's plastic, and that's the bit I need to take off, I think. So let me see if I can figure that out. Right, so we can get to the heads. They're looking pretty grotty. And the pinch rollers, we can just get in there without taking this cover off. See if I can focus in there. Not brilliant. There we go, that's better. Another one on that side. Not looking too bad, so I've got to give that a clean up while I can. That's an auto reverse head, but the problem is this speed control pot is just under here. Let's see if I can see it. Just under there. There it is. But I can't get to it without taking this case off, and I can't figure out how to take the case off. I think I might have to undo these two screws here, this side and the other side. So this isn't really an instructional video, but I'll see if I can do that. See if that allows me to take this top off, because I can't really get into there with the screwdriver, which is a bit of a problem. Right, so I think I've had a look. There's a guy on YouTube who actually bought one of these, but didn't have the rest of the equipment. He just bought the cassette deck, and I think they just slide off this way. So there's a couple of cable clips here to undo. And then that whole plastic unit comes off like this. Okay, does that actually help? I don't think it does. I don't want to undo any wires if I don't have to. I've got to be real careful here. So let me have a look. Ah, yeah, I think that's going to help, because I can get down this side. Let me get my lights around there as well. I can get down that side with a screwdriver just there, so that's going to be perfect. So let me reposition everything, and we'll see if we can adjust the speed. God, look what I just realised. There's two screws, A and A on the other side. There's some D as well. I done those screws thinking it might help. But look, I can just lift off the whole top. So I can get in like that. Oh, I'm useless. I'll show you the reverse process of getting this all back together again, because it's really quite simple once you figure it out. But the user manual that I downloaded online doesn't show you the disassembly. But once I figured out that the two screws holding this didn't help me get that plastic bit off, then I gave up on that idea. But actually, once I've slid that plastic bit off to the front, this just lifts off. So let me get organised, and we're gonna test my head cleaner first. Okay, so let me orientate you again. This is a wired remote, but the front of the remote comes off. So that bit is wireless using infrared to a receiver on there. And then this can sit on top or somewhere else. And this, I don't know what the range is, but I generally use it connected or just a few inches or centimetres away. So this is the front of the unit, and it's still plugged in. So I'm going to turn it on. Yeah, so we can see it's on now. And I'm going to press the eject button, which is on here, which is normally here. You can have a look at that. There's some bands on the belts on the side. Okay, so I'm going to give this a good clean up. And if we get in here, have a bit of a zoom, get the camera set up and get the lighting in the right place. There we go, so we can see that, and I think I can give you a demonstration with it playing a demo tape. So eject, yeah, it just clears that. Demo tape goes in there. Now I'm going to press play on the remote. There it is. Now it's quite possible that I'm between tracks or the speakers will come unplugged. 1 second. Right, we're back. One of the power cables had come out of actually the CD player, not CD, the Minidisc player, and it meant I couldn't get any sound out of it, and I thought I'd broken it. So here we go. It's all a bit dusty, which I'll clean up later on. Oh, there's a bit of lithium grease on there as well. But what I want to do is take out this cassette and put in this cassette and see if it's working for the cleaning, because this is, I don't want to have to take all this off to clean it again, so I want to use this cleaning cassette here, but I can't guarantee whether it's actually working when it's in the unit. So I'm just going to put some cleaning solution on the pads, then quickly pop it back in there, and we'll press play on the cassette and we'll see if it actually works. So what I want to make sure is that pad is actually wiping across the head there. I can't see it because the camera, there we go. So it is wiping across the heads. So without taking the whole thing to pieces, I now know that I can put this in there and it will clean the heads. Although it's at a funny angle, I think that will be good enough. Well, I'm just going to do some manual cleaning while I'm in here. You'll notice that it does actually clean the pinch rollers as well. There we go, that's better. So you can see the tiny little pinch roller in there. It's been pushed up against the pad. And when I change direction, it's this pinch roller and capstan. Sorry, pinch roller and yeah, capstan are against the other pads. That one looks a bit wobbly, doesn't it? We'll have a look at that. Right, I've got to go handheld because I can't really get past this bar and set up the camera with a good good angle and the lights on it and everything else. So let's zoom in a little bit. That pinch roller is looking pretty good. And we'll just go to the other one. Yeah, that pinch roller is looking pretty good as well. So I'm not going to do anything to change these. I might give them a clean, but they seem to be functioning properly. Let's see if I can do this in one shot. There we go, that's better, isn't it? So I'm on 2x zoom. I've put the tray back in, the cassette trace back in. Now you can see I'm looking at this through the phone on a 5.5-inch screen. You are probably looking on a much bigger screen, so you can see better than I can on this. So I'm going to have a look. That needs cleaning, I think. Oh, the joys of trying to do this for a YouTube shoot. I now have got the camera and the lamp set up perfectly, but I can't actually see round them to see what I'm doing. So I'm going in round here. Oh, it's come off easily already. Look at the state of that. But I think, oh, I've got to do this sideways, haven't I? So this head flips round as well. And when I watch this back, so what I'll do next is this lot will get edited on a 22-inch monitor. And then once I've edited it, I then have to render it, which takes about 1.6 times the real time of the video. So if the video is 20 minutes, it's going to be about 32 minutes before it's rendered. Then I'll watch it back on a big screen. That's when I actually get to see what I'm doing. Until then, I can't see it very close up. So I think that's it. I'm not even going to put any more IPA on the pinch rollers because they're good. I'm going to dust it out after I've set the speed though, because you don't need to see me removing dust from the inside. So let's do a speed calibration now. Now, I don't like those 3 kilohertz speed calibration cassettes because 1, they hurt my ears, and 2, only side 2 on this one. 2, I don't think they're very accurate. I've got 2 speed calibration cassettes. One I got from somewhere else on eBay, and one I got from fixyouraudio.com. The fixyouraudio.com one runs too fast. The other one runs a little bit slower, just fractionally too fast. And how I tested those was I've got a Quartz locked cassette deck, and I put them in a Quartz locked cassette deck and monitored the speed, and both those speed calibration tapes don't agree. So what I then did was I put in this pre-recorded cassette on a track I know well. I played that track on here, and I listened in one ear, and I streamed the exact same track from YouTube Music into the other ear, and my Quartz locked cassette deck, give or take about a beat, less than a beat for the whole entire track, the 3.5 minute track, the Quartz locked cassette deck was perfectly calibrated. So it was about half a beat out through a 3 minute pop record. So I know that Quartz deck is properly calibrated. And when I put the calibration tapes in, it gave me different readings. They were out. They were out enough for me to be able to tell the difference when I'm playing this. But I'm quite sensitive to the speed of cassette tracks that I know quite well. So what I prefer to do is I use this pre-recorded cassette on a track I know well. I put it in the cassette deck, and I listen with 2 sets of headphones. One set of headphones will be let's say the left ear will be listening to this cassette player, or the one I'm calibrating, and the other ear will be listening to the same track through a headphone in my streaming on my mobile phone. And I will then match up the 2 tracks so they're exactly the same speed. I'm quite good at beat matching anyway. So I'll then use the calibration screw in here to adjust the speed of this to match the speed of the streaming music. And I find that is the best way to do it. And I know that my Quartz locked cassette deck matches that speed too. This one will match the speed. Then I'll also do the same process on the hi-fi unit I use for my recording as well. Then I'll do my Walkmans and all my other cassette players, and they'll all be matched to this tape, getting it right to the streaming music, which I believe is the best way to match it. And the beauty of that is all you need is a shop bought, not a one you've recorded yourself, but a shop bought cassette album from back in the day, new old stock, will be absolutely fine. You don't need any 3 kilohertz tone tapes or any oscilloscopes or anything like that. That is the method that everyone I think can use. Now the problem is I can't show you that, because if I play this through the speakers, this has copyrighted music on, and I'll get a copyright strike on the YouTube channel. So I think what we're going to do, unless I can think of anything else to, I've got to put it back together. So I'm going to get the calibration right on this first, and then I'll show you the reassembly of this particular deck, because me taking it to pieces wasn't very clear, and I'll show you how to put it back together. So if you get one of these, you'll know how to take it apart again. Right, I'm very pleased with that. I've got the beats on that song I was beat matching, which was Karma Chameleon. I got it beat matched, and I've got the speed calibrated. When you're doing this yourself, it's this one here, and if you turn it clockwise, it makes this deck a little bit faster. So I compared this deck to my streaming, and then I rewound it and listened to the whole track, and it was very, very close. It is like a fraction of a beat out over the whole song. So that's, I'm never going to notice the difference on that. And then just for good measure, I used the auto reverse on this, picked a different track on that cassette, playing in the other direction, so not taking the tape out, just playing with the transport working in the other direction. And so different track on that same album, and on that same cassette rather, and that matched as well, not quite as well, but maybe a quarter of a beat over 2 minutes. So it's close enough for me that I'm never going to hear the difference. So that's really good. It's nice and clean in there. I know that my wacky cassette head cleaner and pinch roller cleaner works as well, because this gets a lot of playtime, this unit. If I'm in the office just doing day-to-day work and I'm using this, it'll be played for maybe 6 hours a day, and that's a lot of cassette time on this. So those two screws go in there, that holds the metal part on, and then this just slides on. I think let's get it in the shot a bit better. So it doesn't feel right. So I realised when I was taking it off that it was getting caught on the front edge here. So it's got to go under there. It was just getting caught a little bit on that front edge. So it doesn't quite feel right there. And I'll pop it back off again. Ah, there we go, pops back on again. That's brilliant, and that just clips on there. And then what was next? This bit goes on here. Right, it's me from after shooting the video here. So I'll put this back in. I forgot to put these bits of trim on. You have to put these bits of trim on before you put this on. And then this bit at the back goes on there, and there's just 4 screws to get screwed in here. So we'll finish that off. So now I'm pretty much committed now. I recorded this playlist, I think it's about 8 or 10 cassettes long. I recorded that on this, and I made a massive playlist, and they're my absolute favourites from the 80s, and that is probably what I played most in here. But because I recorded it on this from a digital source, then I know that it's going to play back on this at the right speed, because even if this is calibrated incorrectly, if you record it on one speed, on an incorrect speed, and then play it back at the incorrect speed, it's going to sound correct. But now any cassettes which I've recorded on this deck are going to sound slightly slow, because this was running fast. So I'm going to have to now get my best deck, which is my Sony Scala S2. I'm going to have to calibrate that properly to my my calibration tape, which is this one here. put it the right way, and re-record all those playlists. But that's no problem. I can just set it up before I work and then play it, record it all the way through the day and listen to the playlist while I go. So that is it. I'm so happy with this. But that's it for today. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you've got this far, then make sure you're subscribed, because you'll probably enjoy some of my other videos. So give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.